Keith McPherson, WFAN Radio in New York, Yankees expert, knows all about the Yankees. Keith, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. I'm sorry, too, by the way.
No, don't apologize. What's up, guys? I got a laugh out of that. I'm listening to, obviously, the Jay-Z, Alicia Keys, but whoever thought to put John Sterling in there, perfect.
We had him on our morning show here. We actually have a real big soft spot for him out here, so we play his highlights a lot. Yeah. Let me just ask you. Obviously, the Yankees are in town, and you know, for the Yankees, it's no big deal, but for the town that they visited, it always is. And Aaron Judge is obviously a Yankee, and I want to kind of take you back to free agency when he re-signed with the Yankees and ask you, was there any sentiment in New York that he could leave? And did you guys believe San Francisco was a player?
Oh, of course. Of course. There was panic. Arson Judge appears to be headed to the San Francisco Giants. I mean, I remember last year or 2 years ago, whatever it was, I think the All-Star game in L.A., he would talk about how after Yankee games, he would go home and watch West Coast San Francisco Giants games. Like, he leaned into it. And then they even had a camera on him checking into a San Francisco hotel where everyone in New York was like, oh, it's happening. He's going home. This guy wants to be Barry Bonds. He's living out his childhood dream. Him and his wife are going back to California. We're about to lose Aaron Judge.
Wow. Because the reason I asked is because the sentiment out here among a lot of Giants fans is Judge was never coming here. He used the Giants to get leverage. And, in fact, we never get any big boy hitting free agents because nobody wants to play in our ballpark. So that's kind of the reason I asked if Yankee fans were concerned, but I guess they were.
A tale of two cities, because we were definitely shook over here. When John Heyman sent that tweet out, there was about 10 minutes of panic in the Yankees universe.
Man, and I bit the cheese. I thought he was coming. You mentioned that hotel shot. I was like, oh, man, he might be on the West Coast. Keith, let me ask you this, because we were talking about hated franchises, and top of the list for me were the Dodgers and Yankees and Lakers. And the reason being is they all throw money at their problems. Even if it doesn't work, they're always a player for the big fish out there. You being a Yankee fan and covering the team, how do you ever take that for granted? How big of a deal is that you have that component that whoever's available, the pinstripes got action at getting them?
Oh, no, sir, I don't take it for granted. I know you guys just got to see the LOL Mets in person over Memorial Day weekend, right? They've got the richest owner in the sport, and here go their fans the last 3-4 years talking about he's the new George Steinbrenner. We can buy a championship. Well, money can't buy you love. He hasn't been able to figure it out. He's actually changed course. With the Yankees being worth $7.4 billion, we know how much money they have, and we know that their superpower used to be going out there and buying all the top free agents. But it seems like now they're starting to build a little differently with guys like Anthony Volpe, Oswaldo Cabrera, Austin Wells, even pitchers like Luis Gil, Clark Schmidt, Nestor Cortez that are homegrown that came from in the system. But, man, it is great when you need to go out and get a Garrett Cole. It is great when Hal Steinbrenner on his yacht, somewhere out in Italy in the water, can Zoom Aaron Judge, FaceTime Aaron Judge, and say, Aaron, what do you want? $40 million a year in the captaincy? Done. And it's done.
Right. Wow. We're joined by Keith McPherson, WFAN Radio in New York. He knows the Yankees inside and out, and, of course, the Yankees are in town all weekend. Let me ask you this. As a Yankee fan, how important is it that you develop a homegrown superstar as opposed to the free agent market and going and getting one? Is there a difference between those players with the fans in terms of the love for them?
Of course. Yeah, of course. Giancarlo Stanton coming over here. For years, he's been the whipping boy because of his contract that he had with the Marlins and him not being able to live up to that with the Yankees. He's doing fine this year, but, I came up on the core four. You know what I'm saying? I came up on Jeter. I came up on Posada, Mariano, and Andy Pettitte. And people a lot like to say that the Yankees bought their championships. Those guys came up through the farm. They've got this 1990 documentary on Peacock right now. I wasn't old enough to remember that. I was born in 88. But, those guys that were in the core of that team, they were in the farm system coming up. And, yeah, you can add a David Justice at the deadline. You can go out there and buy a Jason Giambi. You can go out there and add a A-Rod. But at the same time, man, they won those championships with homegrown talent. And it's good to see them getting back to that, especially with guys like Jason Dominguez and Spencer Jones in the pipeline. It kind of gives you some insurance if they're not able to, bring Juan Soto back. But I 100% believe Juan Soto doesn't want to be anything but a Yankee for the rest of his career.
Hey, Keith, the Giants have brought up a couple youngsters, Matos and Ramos. They've won two. They just took 2 or 3 from the Phillies. They won 4 series in a row. And people are excited out here. Do you think your Yankees should be a little nervous about this 3-game set?
Absolutely. You got to respect your opponents. Jordan Hicks was a guy that Yankee fans were interested in. You guys will not see Carlos Rodon, actually, because he just pitched. Is Blake Snell slated to go in this?
Yes, he is.
Upcoming,
Sunday.
Yeah,
Sunday.
We'll see Blake Snell, and that's another guy that when Garrett Cole went down, Yankee fans were screaming, "Sign Blake Snell!" You got to respect your opponents, and you got to go in there and handle business. And I expect Aaron Judge to, because Brian Hope put out today, who covers the Yankees for MLB.com, he said Judge is going to have lots of family and friends on hand for the series, and it's going to be a homecoming for him. So, yeah, big series. Respect your opponent and keep rolling. The Yankees don't lose series.
Yeah, the question we're asking out here, and we're talking to Keith McPherson of WFAN Radio in New York, covers the Yankees. He might get some boos tonight, Aaron Judge, because there are people that really
don't poke the bear.
Yeah,
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I mean,
have you seen his numbers this month? The whole reason Judge is going off, in my opinion, is because May 4th, Ryan Blakeney, the umpire, ejected him, and Judge has never been ejected. And that one ejection on his resume has turned him into a monster. He had a terrible April. He was batting 200, striking out. Since May 4th, he's putting up ridiculous numbers. They're flashing stats with Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and Joe DiMaggio. Don't boo that man. Don't poke the bear. Applaud him coming home with his friends and family in attendance, and maybe he won't take it out on you with the bat.
Keith, I got to be honest with you. I didn't think Aaron Boone was going to last. I know how you guys do in New York. If you don't win, you're gone. But you're 20 over, the best record in the American League. Is he the man of the town now, all of a sudden, that you guys are having a good season?
Yeah, it's funny, right? This is the last year of his contract. And when they gave him the new contract, we were coming off of losing the 1-game wild card in Boston to the Red Sox and Alex Cora. We were all sick over it. We ate the Red Sox. And the Yankees were this close to hosting that game, but couldn't win one game against the Rays at home. So we're looking at Aaron Boone like, why does he get another term? Why does he get another deal? No one's talking like that anymore. We understand that these players, starting with Aaron Judge, love him. I actually did a live Q&A with him before the season started, so I got to shake the man's hand and talk to him, and he's so great. I got to call 2 Yankee games, and when I went down on the field to get the player of the game, Boone kind of said to me, "Hey, you're doing Susan Waldman's job. You're supposed to come interview me before the game." I'm like, wait. I'm not Susan Waldman. I'm not doing all that. But he was happy that I was, taking the step forward. He's a great guy. He's been great to me. The teammates, or his team, the captain and the captain's teammates love him. He's not going anywhere. He's a part of this. He was hand-selected by Brian Cashman out of the ESPN baseball TV booth. He's the guy for this team.
All right. Go ahead, you guys. Why don't you go ahead and talk about how the Cowboys are better than the Niners this year? Go ahead. You guys have fun. I'll leave it to you.
I told my partner I wasn't even going to bring it up. I'm so despondent, but don't give Dak one more nickel, and that's all I got, my friend.
Trey Lance, we're about to rock with Trey Lance.
There it is. Trey Day.
All right. That's it. That's all you got, Guru.
Yeah,
all right. Hey, Keith, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it, man. Great insight on the Yankees, and have a great weekend, man.
Thanks for having me as always, guys. Good luck, but not too much luck. Let's go Yanks.
Gotcha. Keith McPherson, WFAN Radio in New York.